Namaste Guruji, Jai Guruji Maharaj, Jai Guruji Satsangatji. On behalf of multilingual Global Sevadar team with folded hands, we thank you, our Guruji Maharaj, for entrusting and enabling us with the seva of organizing satsang sharing. Today we are fortunate to have with us dear Rupa Sood with us, who will be sharing her journey with Guruji Maharaj. Sangatji, as we all wish to deepen our connection with Guruji Maharaj, we look forward to hearing your experiences and blessings from Guruji Maharaj. Rupa Sood, over to you, Jai Guruji.
Thank you, Vasan Uncle, for inviting me over to this Zoom platform. And thank you, Multilingual Sevadar team. And many, many thank you and gratitude to my Guruji for giving me this seva of thanking him and sharing my blessings with him. Today I start my journey with Guruji because it is said that we should start our journey from the beginning. But I do not know where the beginning is and how it all started, because when I asked Guruji that how did my journey start with you, and he showed me the whole reel of my childhood, that while you were very young also I was with you, taking care of you in your each and every step, in your education, in your uh, school days, or whenever you were alone, unprotected, because I was all alone always. My mother used to work and I used to be alone at home. And he showed me very clearly that whenever I was alone or in danger or anything, he was the only one who protected me. And since then, I'm very thankful to my Guruji for being there with me always. But the physical journey with my Guruji started when it was almost in 2002, when my youngest son wanted to get married. And his fiance's mother, she asked Guruji about this alliance, whether it was suitable for them or not. And but during those years also, in 2002, I was going through a very bad phase in my health. And there were fibroids in my tummy, and which the doctor had said that you have to undergo a surgery, and nothing on this earth can stop that. And there was heavy bleeding, and I had very low BP. And I was actually not going through a very good phase. And during those days only, Guruji had blessed me and he called me over for his physical darshan through that auntie. Her auntie said ki Guruji wants to meet you to talk about the wedding of our children. That was my first darshan with Guruji when I went to Empire State. And there, when I first saw him, because I had not seen Guruji before, I had only heard from my son that he used to visit Guruji with my would-be daughter-in-law at that time. And he would come and tell me, okay, we go visit Guruji, we have Langar Prasad there and many other things. It is very peaceful over there. And then I used to ask him, okay, what does Guruji say? What does he say to you? Any preachings or what have you learned from him? He said, no, Mom, Guruji doesn't talk like that. He doesn't preach. But it is so peaceful over there that you don't mind sitting there for hours together. And on such one of his occasion, he was sitting right in front of Guruji, and because Guruji used to call off and on, he would call his Sangat, he come press my feet, or he would give some seva. And he, on an impulse, he said, Guruji, can I come and press your feet? And Guruji gave him a smile and he said, yes, of course. And then he went and started pressing Guruji's feet. And he said, Mom, it was a very good feeling, like when I was pressing Guruji's feet. Anyway, so when I went to Guruji, I had not known him at all, only what I had heard from him. And also, I did not believe in human gurus and stuff, because even though my mother was very spiritual and she would take me to different pandits and gurus, she was always believing in some guru or the other, because she needed a support being alone, and she would take me also there. But I never believed in them. She would say, go touch their feet. I would never do that. I would say, no, I will not touch any human's feet. But when I went to Guruji, the first time at the Empire State, that auntie was in front of me, and there were three, four sangats in between us because, and she went first. She touched Guruji's feet, and she was about to say something, but Guruji didn't let her, I think. She went and sat down. Then those two, three, four sangat, they went to touch Guruji's feet, and it was my turn. And Guruji gave me a smile, a look, and he just waved me up to bed job. Go and sit down there. And I went and sat, and it was like Guruji knew who I was. But I didn't know Guruji knew everything. That later on, during the different stages of our journey and our visits, we got to know we don't even have to say anything. Guruji knows each and everything about us. So I went and sat down. After that, we had Langar Prasad. The Shabad started. Then after some time, we had a Langar Prasad. Guruji gave us, first he gave us halwa. And I was so surprised at seeing Guruji being having such soft hands, the master of the universe, the creator of the universe, having such small, soft hands and holding the weight of this universe, how he could do it. That time we were like, didn't know so much about Guruji, but I was little surprised also when with very small hands, he would give us little halwa. But by the time that prasad reached our hands, it would be double the quantity, which we were supposed to go outside, finish and come back, wash our hands and come back inside. Then there would be lineup of for Langar Prasad. We would sit there, have a Langar Prasad, and take Agya from Guruji. This routine kept on following for a few weeks, maybe 6 to 8 weeks. But there was no talk of marriage. And Auntie was obviously getting a little restless also because Guruji is not talking about marriage. And I was also, since Guruji had specially called me to discuss the alliance, but he never mentioned anything. And during those days, I felt that during those weeks, my health problem, which was irritating me all the time, had subsided and I didn't even get to know about it. The fibroid pain was not there. My HB had started to improve. And what else little bit problems I had, health issues I had, was slowly improving, which I didn't notice at that time. But later on, I realized it was all Guruji's blessing. And after a few weeks more, Auntie and I, we were discussing outside, we should talk to Guruji and ask him for the weddings and all stuff. But nobody had the guts to go and ask him anything. Then one day, Auntie picked up the courage and I went with her. I says, Guruji, we didn't even say anything. She was holding Guruji's one leg and I was holding Guruji's other leg, and we are sitting and Guruji is smiling at us and saying, yes. I said, uh, Guruji wedding, what have we decided? So he says, okay, go ahead, do it. I didn't say anything. You go ahead and do it. They said, okay, Guruji, what is the date? When should we do it? He says, what do you want? And she said, we want first week of December. Like the weather will be good and we want to do it during that time. And the Guruji, for a moment, he was quiet. And then he said, okay, what do they want? Because we had already discussed and I had told her that I want end of December. So she said, Ki Guruji, they want end of December. So Guruji was quiet for a minute and then he said, okay, 25th December is fine. Let it be. So what we didn't realize at that time, that firstly, Guruji never believed in any dates or any, like normally in Hindu, we say, okay, these stars are not good, these days are not good for weddings. So we should do it before the 12th of December. But Guruji never believed in all that. There were no auspicious or unauspicious days. Whatever he said was auspicious for us. And he said 25th is fine. And so we would sit there. We were very happy that Guruji has given a date. So we would sit there. Guruji would make us sit for till 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night after Langar Prasad. He used to give agya to a few people. He would send them away. And a few of the Sangat, he would make them sit over there. And then later on, we used to have a little chit chat with him, have chai prasad or halwa prasad. And Guruji fed us like a mother feeds her children like that. All the time eating something or the other. That was his way of blessing us and getting rid of our problems. And so the wedding date was fixed, and he would say at night, "Okay, now you can go and start preparing for the wedding. Go do some shopping. Go do this." So with Guruji's grace, the wedding and everything date was fixed. The venue was fixed. Everything was done in a very nice way. And later on, my daughter-in-law would call me up and say, "Ki mom, Guruji," every day he calls in the morning and he says, "Ki, I want so many cards. I want so many cards." Because Guruji used to give invite cards of any wedding or any party to the Sangat and send them over for that occasion. And I said, "Okay, that's good. More the merrier. Guruji wants them to come and wants to bless them. The more he sends, the more Sangat he sends, the more blessings for us." She says, "But it takes so much of time to make the cards because we are making some designer cards with embroidery and stuff." I said, "Doesn't matter, whatever it is. That is between you and Guruji." But she, of course, gave many cards to Guruji. And then when the wedding was done, and the next morning we found out it, on 24th of December there was tsunami. And that was the reason Guruji had collected so many people from all over the world who had made programs to go to Thailand for this vacation time in December. Even my relatives, I had full attendance of 99.9% from abroad, because they had made the program to go to Thailand and all, but they did not. They cancelled all the programs and came to India to attend the wedding. And same was with a lot of Sangat whom Guruji had invited over for the wedding. So that was his way of blessing so many people. He saved so many people from the death, and they could be home with their families. So everything went off well, even though this news was quite disturbing that so many people had died and there was so much disaster also. But then Guruji knows what is to be done. People can only just sit, imagine, and think and wish for the best. So then during that time, my surgery got cancelled. Not even got cancelled, I didn't even need it. And any other problem which I had was just gone. So now we had started visiting Guruji like almost every week. With Guruji's permission, we would sit there and enjoy the Shabad, enjoy the Langar Prasad and the Halwa Prasad. On such one occasion at night, after the Shabad had started, some uncle, he came to Guruji and gave him a packet which had some leaflets, like some cards in it. So I thought Guruji is giving more invitation cards to the people around, because during those days, Swarup and all, they were not very commonly given by Guruji, or any Sangat outside was allowed to give like that. So we actually thought it was some wedding cards or some invite which Guruji is giving away, distributing to the people. Then he had a very few of them. He occasionally he would just pinpoint some Sangat, okay, you come, and he would give them a packet. And I thought, I'm not going to get one because I'm not sitting in front of Guruji. I was sitting on the side. Though mostly I used to get a seat right in front of Guruji, 2 or 3 rows back, near his charan. And that day I was not sitting so near him. So I thought, now that today my chance is gone. I won't get anything. But the auntie next to me, she nudged my elbow and said, "Guruji is calling you." And I went to Guruji. First I said, "No, he must be calling you. He's not calling me." No, she said, "No, he's calling you." Because then I looked at Guruji and he was like Guruji's way of calling you with only one finger and a smile on his lips. He called me and he said, went to him, gave me a packet. I took the packet, bowed, touched his feet, and did my gratitude and came back. We did not have the guts to open the packet at that time. But when I came and sat in the car, I opened that packet and we saw this beautiful Guruji Swarup in that. That is the first Swarup or the first gift I got from Guruji in the temple from him. I was very excited So the next day I went to get the Swarup framed. Now, near my house, there was a shop which I was not very anxious for, but since it was near, I went and I asked him if I could get it framed. He said, yes, you leave it here. I'll give you 2, 3 days later. I said, no, I'm sorry. I won't leave it. Since I'm sitting here, you frame it. It's not a very big thing. You frame it, I'll sit here for 2 hours and I'll take it back with me. He said, no, sorry, you hide. Keep it here. I took the soup and I went to another market, Lashpat Nagar. I saw a few nice big shops where they did the framing, but they also said the same thing. No, you leave it here. So it was not a very big swoop. I wanted a special kind of a frame for that, what I had in mind. So while I was just taking around, there was a very small shop. You could hardly call it a shop. It was under the stairs, a small, like a showpiece shop, antique type of a thing, full of dust and all. But he had 3, 4 different types of frames in the showcase. So I went inside on an impulse. I can't say I went inside on an impulse. I think it was Guruji's way of blessing that shopkeeper. Uh, I went inside. I asked him, yeah, I want this kind of a frame on exactly the same size. He said, I don't know. I have a few frames sitting inside. I'll go check it out. After some time, he comes out with a frame, which was the exactly frame which I wanted for that room. And he just slides Swarup in the frame and it fits like a glove. It was perfectly fit. So I was very happy. And that was Guruji's way of blessing that shopkeeper. And I brought it home, I put it in my room. So I was very happy that Guruji has given me this blessing. Then after a few weeks, Guruji gave me another blessing for which I'm forever ever thankful to him. Another uncle, he comes with a packet, a pouch, like a jewelry pouch. And in that, there are a few items in that. So Guruji again calls the Sangat one by one and gives them that small little packet. And then Guruji gives to them and again he calls me. But I still can't believe that he's calling me the second time to give something. But I'm going on crying. I don't know why I'm crying over there. It can be love. It was actually love for Guruji and the gratitude we always had while sitting in front of him. That was the biggest gratitude or the biggest blessing a Sangat could have, sitting in front of Guruji and admiring him and looking at him and he looking at you and passing smiles. So that is how it is. So when Guruji called me, I went and sat there at his feet and he was having the hand in the pouch and he was going on like playing something inside. And it was quite some time that I was sitting there and Guruji's hand was in the packet. And after a lot of minutes or seconds, or I don't know, like it seemed like I can't describe the time. It was so much of time he kept on. Then he took that small packet out of the big packet, and the packet was empty because he had already distributed the small packets. That was the last packet. And Guruji put that small packet in my hand, but he didn't leave it. He just kept on rubbing with his thumb and the knee. He kept on rubbing the item which was in the small packet. And after a lot of time, he just like his hand was like giving me, and I was holding my hand like this so that he can give it to me. And then he gave me that packet and he said, "Ja ash karo." And I took that packet and I came and sat on my seat and I howled and cried like a small baby holding that packet in my hand. Even though still I didn't know what was inside. But Guruji saying and blessing me, Acha jao, and he gave me a smile. He said, Jao Ash Karo. That was enough for us. So that again, when he came and sat in the car and I saw, it was a beautiful pendant swarup framed in silver, which Guruji had blessed me with. And that pendant became like a second part of my body, which I cherish it so much, and it's become the only jewelry I like to wear wherever I go. And I thank Guruji very much for that. Thank you for his blessings always. Like this, the time kept on going, and with Guruji's Sharan, we would go come, and he would bless us. He took us for long outside Delhi trips. We went to Badi with him for the opening of the dental college. It was such a beautiful and amazing trip. And Guruji is such a, I don't know why, he has such a motherly affection and love for his Sangat that he would, even though his car could go like 120, 140 miles, but he would go at our pace with us, slowly driving slowly. His driver was instructed like that. And even if he went ahead, he would go ahead, wait for all the Sangha to reach there and see that all the cars have reached. And then we would move forward again. And in between, wherever we had stops, the Sangat had arranged breakfast, lunch, dinner, water, tea, coffee. Like from here to Badi, we were fed 10 times, I think. And wherever that langar went, wherever that prasad went, we don't know. Still, when we reached Badi, we were hungry. So the prasad is like, it's not like a food kit. You feel overfed or you feel your tummy is bloated or anything else. Where that prasad went, we never got to know. Still, what happens is when we go have langar prasad, no matter how hungry we are or no matter how full we are, when we have langar prasad, by the time we get home, we are hungry again because langar prasad is like medicine gone and absorbed in your whole body. So, like this, the time kept on passing by. And one morning, my daughter-in-law called me. Now, since this is the month of May, and I cannot but relate to that, she called me up on 31st May in the morning. I was driving back home from someplace. She said, Mom, Guruji has gone. And her voice was very heavy. And I asked her, what happened? She said, no, Mom, he has gone. I said, okay, gone. Where has he gone? He will be back in a week or so, or 10 days, 1 day, 2 days. Because Guruji used to keep going to Jalandhar or Chandigarh or wherever for satsangs and stuff. No, she was crying and then she told me, no, Mom, Guruji has gone. You come to Mandir. And straight away, without thinking, I took a turn. We went to the temple. And there was, of course, a heavy crowd. All the Sangat had collected also. We were all waiting in the line, waiting for the Darbar door to open because that was closed. And we were waiting and that bhajan was going on, Jagjit Singh bhajan, Satnam Sri Vaheguru. So then the door opened and they were allowing Sangat to take the parikrama, go around Guruji for the darshan, take his blessings and go out from the other side. So while I was going and I was just near his head, I paused for a second. I folded my hands and I looked at Guruji and I told him, I said, no, this is not possible. You cannot be here. You cannot go anywhere. You have not gone. And I'm sure you'll be here tomorrow or day after or next week or week or so. Because you are God. You cannot go anywhere. God, you are the creator of this universe. You cannot go anywhere. There were a lot of things mumbling in my mind. Then Sevadar uncle said, Auntie, please move on. There's a lot of Sangat waiting to have Guruji's darshan. And he nudged me forward. And I was just like a zombie, without any tears in my eyes, without anything, like absolutely shocked, stunned. I kept on moving. I said, no, Guruji cannot go anywhere. This is all his uh, way of something or the other. He is showing some miracle like that. And we came out, but the reality hit very late the next day when we were told about the cremation and this, and I could not go for the cremation. I couldn't because I have in my mind I was very clear Guruji has not gone anywhere. He'll be here. And that's where we see him always. Still when we want Guruji's darshan, he's always here with us, either in our dreams or he's there sitting, showing his presence. So he cannot be gone anywhere. Then after that, slowly, we started going on Monday morning to Bade Mandir. And that was when the mandir was not very crowded. We would sit there, have chai prasad, samosa prasad, and there were small groups of Sangha doing satsang. And we would also all sit down. And while we were sitting in the hall, in that bar, there were a few aunties who would be doing Shivmurti Seva, cleaning with brasso and rubbing it and shining it. And like, sometimes when I would sit there, I would just sit and watch them. And because during those days I had a very severe shoulder pain, it was like a frozen shoulder. I had a lot of pain there. And I would sit and stare at them doing and think in my mind, "Ki, Guruji, if you ever call me this Siva, I will never be able to do it because I have so much of pain." That was just a passing thought which came and went. And I think 2 or 3 weeks later, one auntie from the group, she called, says in the morning, while I was going inside and she was coming out, because that group used to come very early in the morning. They were going out. Said, "Auntie, why don't you come for Seva in the morning, for Shimurti Seva in the morning on Mondays?" I said okay to her, but in my mind I was thinking, how will I be able to come alone? They come here at 5:36 in the morning, winter time, and I have to drive alone. And since we are living in Faridabad, the road from shooting range to Chhatarpur and all that road was quite lonely at that time. So I was just thinking that only in my. So I couldn't go. I didn't have the courage. Couldn't muster up enough courage to go to Bade Mandir for 2, 3 weeks. Again, she stopped me one day, and that time her voice was not her like her voice. It was very authoritative. And she said, "Auntie, I told you to come for seva in the morning." And I looked at her and I said, "Okay, Auntie, next Monday I'll definitely come." And that was next Monday. I still had pain in my shoulders. So next Monday, I mustered up enough courage. I said, "Jai Guruji, Guruji, I'm not driving this car. You are driving. I'm not alone. You are taking me and we are together. So let's go." So I drove the car, went to the mandir, and there we started doing our seva. And see Guruji's ways of curing you. When I was starting, the first day we started Shibhurti Seva, that was my normally it happens that we go around the Shivmurti. Everybody takes one parikrama. And my like all the aunties were standing, there was only one space available, and that was behind Shivmurti at the back, near at the shoulders. That's from where my seva started. And the whole seva finished. And after that, we would sit down and read Shiv Puran over there. And I didn't even get to know within 3 or 4 weeks, my shoulder pain had just vanished. I didn't even know it was there at all. It just completely vanished. Then during those days, I had even actually forgotten about it that I had any shoulder pains or I had a frozen shoulder. That's how Guruji just cures you. That's how Guruji has his way of blessing you without telling you, without even you realizing what he's doing. He is there with you 24/7. And during those days only, after the seva, we were sitting in the darbar and I was just looking around. And we know, because one night earlier, Guruji had shown me in dreams that you people are cleaning and doing Shimurti Seva and doing the gaddi and everything, cleaning up everything, but nobody is looking up at the ceiling, what is happening there. And there he showed me on the ceiling, there used to be a very big chandelier there. It had all the jalas, like cobwebs, hanging from the sides and the center. And I said, okay. The next time when we went to Mandir, I was at temple, I was sitting there and I looked up and it actually had the same cobwebs which Guruji had shown me in that dream darshan that night. Then I told that auntie, I said, "Auntie," because she was in charge, so I could not make the decisions myself. I told auntie, I said, "Auntie, we are cleaning, everything is so good, but then look at the chandelier. And Guruji has shown me that it has to be cleaned. So then he called Mali Uncle Bhaiya and he made arrangements to get the chandelier down. So all of us together, we cleaned the chandelier and took it out. And after that, I think the chandelier seva started. That's how we would, excuse me. So likewise, everything was very beautiful. The whole journey was going very nicely with seva and prasad and blessings and everything. Then one fine morning, say one of the aunties, she said, "Ki the summer holidays are going to start, and few of our aunties are going for vacation. And would you like to do seva in the kitchen?" Of course, I said I was very happy. I said, "Of course, auntie." I said, she's asked me, "Ki, are you going out anywhere in the holidays, summer holidays?" I said, "Even if I am, I will not, but I'm not going. So I'll be very happy to come for kitchen seva." Because one night after Langar Prasad, while I was coming out, I had a very small little, like a fraction of a thought in my mind. Because I used to see aunties with the white caps, the kitchen aunties in the kitchen. And one day I even went to the kitchen. I didn't know they were very strict about it. I went to the kitchen and I asked, "Auntie, would anybody like to take a break? I have a lot of time. Can I come and help you?" And one of the aunties said, "No, no, you cannot come to the kitchen, not without permission. And we'll call you, we'll let you know. Please go." And I came out. And Guruji, he had listened to my prayer. And that time only I told Guruji, I said, "Guruji, see, all these aunties are doing seva, and I also want to do like this. Also want to wear this cap and do seva in the kitchen." And then when that auntie, she told me, "Okay, will you come for kitchen seva?" I was very happy. I told her, "Of course, we will come." So she said, "It's only for 2, 3 hours. It's okay." I said, "Yeah, no matter whether 2, 3 hours or full day, it doesn't matter. We will come." Then I went home and I asked my daughter, I said, "Would you like to come for kitchen seva, aunties? They need aunties." And she was also very excited. So we started going for kitchen seva. It started with 2 hours, 3 hours. Slowly, slowly, the Sangat kept on increasing and our seva went on increasing. And from 4 hours, it went to 5 hours. Then it became a whole day seva. From morning till night, after Langar Prasad, we would come home. And during those days, while we were in the kitchen, my uncle was not feeling too well. Not that we got to know about it, not that Guruji made us even realize what was happening in his life. One day, my son was having a satsang in his house, and after the satsang, my son and my husband, uncle, they went to a very local doctor near our building only, just for a visit, just to show him what is happening, because they were also not expecting what was going to happen next. So when they got back, I asked them, I said, "What happened? Where did you guys go?" They said, "No, mom, we just went down. Pop was having a little pain in the throat area. So we thought we'll have a look, maybe some infection or something." I said, "Okay, is it okay?" "Yeah, yeah, yeah, he's fine." He also didn't tell me anything. My uncle also didn't tell me anything. And the next morning, they were both, father and son, were ready to go to a lab to get some this test done. I said, "Now what?" He says, "No, we are just going for a test done." He said to get some advanced test done. So that was also done. Then that doctor told them to go in for biopsy because they suspected something. And that was when they told me, "Okay, we have to go for for a biopsy. So we should consult my brother. He's a very senior doctor." So then we consulted him. We showed him that MRI reports and everything. He said, "Yes, you should go in for biopsy. I'll fix up the appointment with you with an oncologist. You go." So by Guruji's grace, we got the best oncologist. We got his appointment. And everything was done like going, opening the tap, having water and come back. So that takes care of your thirst. We went to the hospital. Everything was taken care of. Doctor took the appointment. sent the sample for biopsy. It was confirmed cancer, and date for the operation was fixed. And that doctor normally doesn't give dates for 6 to 8 months because he's so very busy in banks. But he gave us immediately he gave us the date and said, okay, for some and such date you can come. Surgery was fixed, and the operation went off very well. And I wasn't even there because the operation was done on Monday. I had my seva on Monday. No, though I didn't want to go, but my son said, "No, mom, the operation will start at 10 o'clock. That's the time doctor has given us. So why do you want to stay at home? You go at 6 o'clock, and normally by 9:30, 10, you're back home. So you come straight to the hospital." So from the temple, I went straight to the hospital. I took Jal Prashad, and while I was entering the hospital, while I was near his room, they were just rolling him into the operation theater. I put in a few drops of Jal Prashad in his mouth, wished him luck, said Jai Guru. I said, don't worry, everything is going to be fine. And then he sat out, they took him inside. My daughter, she was doing shuttle seva during those days. And we told her, I said, don't rush back, finish your seva and come. Don't leave seva because here you are not going to do anything. So just go finish your seva and come back. In the evening, come straight to the hospital. So she was also not there. She came in the evening. And before she came, uncle was out from the operation theater. It took him a good 3-4 hours, I think 3.5 hours before they could roll him out from there. Then they showed us the portion of the cancer infected area which they had taken out, and the lymph nodes and everything. And the doctor said he is as clean as a baby. Now we are shifting him back to the room. No need to worry. Everything has been taken care of. So this was done on Monday, and Thursday, the doctor says, okay, now you can take him home. There's no need to keep him here. Everything is okay, going normal. They had fixed the tube. The food was going through the tube. Is this you can do at home also? No need to run up down here or there. See, on Monday he was admitted, operated. Thursday he was out, discharged. We brought him home, and all the medication, everything started. Everything was going very smoothly. Then we had to take him for a checkup after 1 month. That's what the doctor said. He come after 1 month. We took him for the checkup. So he said, no, healing is being done. Everything is fine. You don't have to do anything else. Come back again after 1 month. Then we'll see. We asked him, I said, normally what we hear is chemo hair. People have to get the chemo done or radiotherapy or this and that. I said, doctor, what is the procedure for that? He said, come after 1 month, then we'll discuss. Let us see the improvement and let. When again we went for the checkup after 1 month, the doctor says, no, he's absolutely clean. He doesn't need any radiology. He doesn't need any chemo. Just take care of him, let it take care of his diet, and he'll be perfectly fit and fine. And by Guruji's grace, he's perfectly fit and fine. He doesn't even know that he was operated for cancer. Because of the operation, he has a small cut here. And then he asked me, why do I have this cut? What happened to me? So I said, no, you had just had a small accident. It was a small surgery which the doctors had to do. That's why the mark is there. And he's so blessed by Guruji. And for every small little thing, he's like, he keeps on telling us, you don't worry, Guruji's there now. He's taking care of me. You don't worry for me. I'm fine. You go take care of yourself. You do this, you do that. Like that's the only thought which is there in his mind. And he's one person who would, like, it would be an effort to take him to Empire State for Lanka Prashad. Because he never believed in God. He never believed in anything. He had his own way of life. And that was the time, I think, he went once or twice, and that was the time Guruji blessed him for life. Because once he was sitting at the Empire State, and he was going on telling me in my eyes, it's okay, let's go, making signs, let's go, let's go. And I was telling him, no, we'll go, wait, we'll go for after Lanka Prashad. And Guruji is Guruji. He knows each and everything. We don't have to tell him. Guruji must have noticed also. Because next time when we went again, he was a little restless. because as a man, every Punjabi man, he would, in the evening, he would open the bottle, have one or two pegs. That was the routine. And Guruji told him at that time only, okay, Hanji, ऐसे तुसी जाओ कर ऐश करो ते अपना पैग शैग लाओ ते कोई फिक्र करने की लोड़ नहीं है ऐश करो जाके. So that was the last time I think he visited Guruji's temple. And Guruji's with him throughout 24/7. And slowly, slowly, what happened was he left drinking. He's now himself, he asked, okay, I want to read Shiv Puran. And he reads Shiv Puran on his own, one page, two page, whatever he can comfortably. And he started doing the mantra jap. Since he has got to know that mantra jap has so much of power, because we keep on talking, mantra jap, we should do mantra jap, we should do mantra jap. So he said, I also do mantra jap, but sometimes I forget. So Guruji, we had gone for a satsang. So there, one auntie, she distributed us small wooden plates with mantra jap written on it. And it was like Guruji sent that plate for him only. We put that plate in his on his table, and his big, big bold words the mantra jap is written. So now he doesn't forget also. So that's the blessing Guruji gives you without asking. Once he woke up in the morning and he said, Ki, I had a dream in which I am walking through a tunnel. It is very dark there, and I cannot see anything where I'm going. And suddenly I see Guruji coming and holding my hand and leading me towards a very small light. And he shows me the light, points it out, and he says, Go there. And I come out from there. What is, I said, Guruji is taking out from the dark. He's happy. He showed you the light. But we didn't know ourselves what to get, what meaning to get out of that satsang. But we, as humans, we always see the positive side. Because Guruji has come, it has to be positive. And so it happened like that. We took him he was due in for a cataract operation. And we took him to the doctor. And there, they did his test. Normally, after a senior citizen, they do some scanning and all for the eyes. So while they did scanning for one eye, they found there was a blood clot behind the retina. And the doctor scared us there only. They said, since it is there in one eye, it can go to the next eye also, and he will lose his eyesight. One is almost like 80% gone, and he might lose the other one also. You should get the surgery and whatever big procedure he had given for one eye, then the other eye, and this and that. But I said, no, it can't be like that. Guruji has shown him light, so it can't be such a big, difficult thing. So we went and consulted our very old family doctor. And he said, yes, the clot is there, but we will treat it. They started giving him injection to remove the clot. So slowly, slowly it started improving. Slowly, a little bit of vision came back. But the next eye, the other eye was saved. He did the cataract and that eye was saved. There was no problem. And he can do with one eye, he sees less. The other one is perfectly fine. His work is going, he can do the reading. So everything is going okay. He's happy with whatever he has. He says, Guruji showed me the light. Even if I can read with one eye, I'm absolutely fine. He's never cribbing, not grumbling about anything at all. That is many, many gratitude to our Guruji. Many, many thanks to Guruji for showing us the light, for giving us the mind to think positive. No matter how negative your situation is, Guruji makes sure that your mind is not going in the negative direction. Always, he takes us towards the positive side of things. It was long time back that we had a court case, and we were quite worried. It was a big thing, and we were quite worried about that. And though we were thinking about it, but not worried about the thing, not thinking in the negative way, though we knew that Guruji will take care of it. And it so happened that Guruji, on that very day, gave us the date for satsang. And we got so busy preparing for the satsang, sending invites, preparing for the Lagar Prashad, what is to be done, this, that. that we completely forgot about the date. And the satsang went off very well. And later on, we came to know after 2 days, okay, everything went off well. The lawyer called us. Everything went off well. You don't have to worry about anything. I said, of course, Guruji had already given a date for satsang. Then how could anything else happen? It had to be good. Thank you so much, Guruji. Mhm. Now, before the pandemic, it so happened that everybody was like, uh, temple suddenly was to close down. And we were worried now, slowly, this was increasing. But though we didn't know that everything's going to be, there is going to be a lockdown, but everybody was a little concerned ki if this happens, if that happens, what will happen. But Guruji had prepared us so much in advance because we used to go for Shivmurti Seva, and the lot of Sangat had increased. Even aunties had increased for Shivmurti Seva because Guruji wanted maximum number of people to be blessed. Because a lot of Sangat had increased, so our turns got, a little with gap. Like we used to do almost every week, then we started doing twice a month, or once a month, then twice, once in 2 months. Like that, it's totally slowly went on decreasing. And then we used to think now, when we are not doing seva here on Monday, what do we do at home? We used to come, sit out in the music room. And when the seva finished, we would go for Guruji's darshan, have a prasad, and come back. But somehow inside, everybody was missing the touch, the Guruji's seva, Shibhuti cleaning, and everything. So I was also obviously very much concerned ki how will we do at home now because the gap was going on increasing. Then one fine evening, my daughter, she comes back in the evening after her Shakal Seva and gives me a packet. And that packet, she says, okay, Mom, this is for you. I said, okay, what is it? She says, open it and see. Because I also don't know. The uncle, he brought it. He said, give it to your mom. It's only for her. Give it to her. And I started to unwrap the packet. It was in a newspaper, one newspaper, two, three, four, like that. A lot of newspapers were there. So I kept on removing the newspapers. It was a heavy packet. And when I removed the last newspaper, like the thing almost fell from my hand because it was heavy and the newspaper also fell down. So I just held it came and fell in my lap. And I saw it was a beautiful, same brass Shiv Murti, same like the one we had in the Bade Mandir, brass Murti, which Guruji specially sent. Like, okay, now you don't miss coming to the temple. You can do the seva over here. So much thank you, Guruji. So much shukrana for this. He thinks about each and everything what is going on in your mind, what is going on in your heart, what you're thinking, what are your sentiments, everything. You don't have to tell him. Then during COVID, then one fine morning while we were in the kitchen, the order came that we are going to shut down the temple because the order has come from the government and we'll see now when it opens. So everything was shut down. And obviously, langar was already prepared by that time. And they didn't let the Sangat come. And it rained and rained and rained that day, and that day, Guruji made all the Sevadars sit in that bar for a long time, for as much as the time we wanted. And after that, when it was time for the temple to close, then we were given big packets of langar prasad, which was already made to take home and distribute to our staff or our families or anywhere, whatever. So that was the last where we went after the COVID. And during COVID now, uh, everybody had fever, everybody had COVID. I had COVID in my house. My daughter had COVID in the same house. There was no staff coming. The temporary part-timers had been stopped to enter the building. And now we were two of us having COVID. Now uncle is there. Now how to take care of that one person, do his cooking, because if cooking has to be done, it has to be done by us, and we have COVID. But we would tell him, we would somehow, whatever arrangement we could do for him to sit separately in the room, have his meal in disposable, and do whatever. But he got very irritated. He said, look, you have COVID, she has COVID. I don't have COVID. So why should I have to be locked? Both of you go lock yourself in the room. I said, if we lock ourselves in the room, who is going to look after you? Who is going to cook for you? And who is going to give you food? He said, all that I don't know. I can't sit in the room locked up like that. And then he would come sit with us only and eat. And we all ate together. And by Guruji's grace, we were cured. And he didn't get even like 99 fever. Guruji made sure that he is kept safe. That is the thinking he has always for Guruji. Think positive. Guruji is there with me. So I don't give a damn to anybody else. What you people are thinking, I don't know. One day, now just to go on the pleasant side of it, uh, one day while I was sitting in front of Guruji and doing my mantra jap in the evening, and normally, even though I belong to a very spiritual family, I've been going to gurdwaras and doing chilias and everything. And for almost 20 years, I went to Sai Baba Mandir. Every day I would go there and pay my respects, talk to Baba there, vent out my feelings, vent out all what is there in my heart, talk to him, cry, laugh, everything. But I used to go every day. Even if the temple was closed, I would go at night, do his darshan from the gate only and come back. So one day I was sitting in front of Guruji, and from there I went straight to Guruji at Empire State. But how that whole thing shifted from there to Guruji, Guruji only knows, because I saw Baba sitting at that gaddi with Guruji on that chair. And one evening while at home, I was doing my mantra jap and I was sitting, and I was telling Guruji, I said, Guruji, look, I cannot meditate, you know that. I'm quite a restless kind of a person. My thoughts keep on traveling, keep on thinking. One minute I'm thinking east, and the other minute I'll go west. So, I cannot sit still, and I cannot do the meditation. But I can only say with 100% of my feelings, maybe 110% of my feelings, that I love you very much. Do you love me also? How will I get to know that you love me also? And I keep on staring at Guruji, and he's smiling away in his swaroop, not saying anything to me. Then he says, okay, Guruji, I know you love me very much. Because you love all the Sangat, so you love me also. And that's how my mantra jap finished. Just had my dinner and went off to sleep. And after a few days, I got an invitation for a satsang from a Sangat, which was to be there in the evening time. And during those days, I used to go for pantry seva on Saturdays, and she had a satsang on Saturday. And I wanted to go there because I have a very special connection with that house. When I recently got married, and my children were born in that house. So I had a very close connection, and I wanted to go. I'd never visited there. Since I got this invitation, I was quite excited. And then in the evening, I'm sitting in front of Guruji and I'm asking him, Guruji, I don't want to miss my seva, but I want to go there also. How will it happen? How will it happen? Because by the time we got free from the seva, it used to be almost 6 o'clock, and she had the satsang from 7 to 9, like that. And from Mandir, Bade Mandir, going to Safdarjung in the evening at peak hours and reaching by 7 o'clock was quite a task. But still I said, okay, it doesn't matter, whatever it is, we'll see. And see what happens. The very next day on Saturday morning, I get a call from the Mandir, from our pantry coordinator. She says, today there's going to be no pantry seva. And we ask her what happened. So today some children with special needs are coming from the school. So we are going to be busy with them and we'll use the disposable ones. So we don't need pantry sevadas. Today is your chutti day. And I was so happy, so excited that Guruji had given me permission to go attend the satsang. And that same night, Guruji showed me also that I'm sitting in a satsang, in a darbar, right in front of him, like where I used to sit in the temple. And I'm quite excited. In the morning, I say, thank you so much, Guruji. You've given me the permission. You've shown me also that I should go for the satsang. When I go there for the satsang, I see that whole hall is like, Sangat is already there. I got late because of the traffic on the way. And by the time I reach, like, the whole hall is full. There's no place to sit. And I am looking at that place where Guruji had showed me, ki, you will be sitting here. I said, Guruji, how will I sit here now? The place is full. Then I say, okay, doesn't matter. Thank you, Guruji, for making me come here. That's good enough for me. I go to my bow in front of him for his blessings. And the moment I'm about to get up, one auntie gets up from the same seat and she says, Rupa, you please come and sit here. I'm going. And she gets up and I sit down over there. And that's the same place which Guruji had shown me in the dream. You will be sitting here at the satsang. I was very happy at that time. Thank you so much, Guruji. And after that, after satsang got over, while we were saying our byes and goodbyes and hugging each other after taking permission from Guruji, one auntie whom I had not met for 3, 4 years, and but we have been quite close, attending satsangs together for a long time. But since she had moved to Noida, we were not very much in touch with her. She is standing and waiting for me near at the corner of the hall, and she calls me over and gives me a hug. And I also hug her, but she's not leaving me and going on making the hug tighter and tighter. And I was a little surprised also, like we have not been like so much in love with each other that, but still I was very happy. Her hug was very warm, and this is hello, Jai Guruji auntie, how are you? This that. And later on, she tells me, "Ki this hug to you was not from me. This was from Guruji. He told me, he showed me that this is a special love for Rupa because please tell her I love her very much. I know she loves me very much, and I love her very much too." And Sangatji, believe me, I was so overwhelmed, and I just kept on crying and crying with love for my Guru, that he loves you so much and he makes sure that the message also reaches you. He doesn't ignore your feelings or your love for him or your devotion towards him. Thank you so much, Guruji. Just like that, once in my dream, uh, while we were sitting and waiting for some langar prasad to come, we are walking in the line. One Sangat, she says, Auntie, you please sit down here. And I sit there. And while I'm sitting there, there's nobody else around. I look around here and there's nobody. And then two hands they come and they give me some prasad. Like it was like something giving. And I'm about to take, but I see who the uncle, who with uncle or auntie it is. So I look up and I keep on looking up, 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 up. And that figure kept on going up and up and up. And it was like Virat Roop of Guruji. By the end of it, I saw Guruji in a white robe and he's blessing me with something, he's giving me something. And he put that thing in my lap. And he made a gesture that I should spread my dupatta, my chunni. And he put that thing in my lap. It was like he had blessed me with something. And then later on, if I put that 2 plus 2, my son was going through a very bad phase in his life. So that was Guruji's way of blessing him and blessing me with his good health. And by Guruji's grace, he's out of that phase and is leading a good, healthy life. Shukrana. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you so much. Then very recently, I had another dream. I'm telling you these small, small dreams which are so very well um, connected to your life somehow or the other. We are standing in, I with my family, because Guruji showed me this, then he showed me this dream that we are standing with my family. It's like a desert. Far away, far, far away, there's nothing. It's only dust. Then from the dust, I see two up in the sky, two lights, a vehicle coming down and comes and lands right in front of me. And it's not a vehicle, it's like a old model aeroplane, which we call jahaz. It's an old model aeroplane. And a door opens, and inside there's nothing but light. And there's a voice coming, Auntie, please come. Guruji has sent this plane for you. So I, with my family, we enter the plane and sit. And there's only light on the pilot seat is a bright light, which I think was Guruji only. Not think, I'm sure was Guruji because nobody else would be driving a plane without a pilot. Shukrana Guruji so much. Then once Guruji showed me that we are on a hilltop and there's a lot of disturbance, weather disturbance, thunderstorm, and the whole place is shaking and there's a lot of rain. And the hall where we are sitting is full of Sangat. And Guruji is sitting there on his gaddi. And I stand up and I'm asking him, Guruji, the weather is so bad outside, everything is shaking. How will we go outside? We cannot open the door because we are on a hilltop and the weather is so bad, it's so windy. Guruji says, no, you don't have to go outside in the bad weather. All of you sit inside and do the mantra jap. The times that are coming in the future are quite bad, quite shaky for everyone. So, those who will be sitting and doing the mantra jap will be safe. Nothing will happen to them. I will protect them all. So, Sangatji, it is my request, folded hands, that don't take mantra jap lightly. It's the lifeline of the Sangat. And also don't take the Langar Prasad very lightly because that is the medicine for your body. Not only for your body, that's the medicine for your soul. Because Guruji, while we were there at Empire State, Guruji, I got a good scolding from Guruji. We were having Langar Prasad that day because Guruji was giving us Halwa Prasad every day. And we had to finish it. But that one fine evening, Guruji gave this dry laddu prasad to us. So I was quite new also there. So a small portion of laddu prasad I wrapped in a tissue and kept in my pocket. Thought I would take it for my children. But while we were having our Langa Prasad, Guruji called one of the Sangat and he said something to him. And that uncle, Sevadar uncle, he announced, Ki Guruji is saying, Ki those people who have hidden the prasad in their pockets, please take it out and eat it here only. This prasad eaten here is like a medicine to you. Once you take it out, it will not be a medicine. It will be like any mithai. So it won't cure you. So Sangatji, please have your Langar Prasad, whatever is being given to you at the temple, in the temple only. Because Guruji said, even if one person comes from the family, I bless the whole family. And if that person has finished, taken their Langar Prasad, the whole family is blessed with that Prasad. So now, like these days, people have little mixed views about how to have satsangs and how to whether to have arti in the beginning or to have arti in the end has got no meaning. It's your own feeling for your guru, which is more important than these small things. Like we do satsang, we like to have arti in the beginning. The reason being, while you have arti in the beginning, then the sangat is settled down, listening to shabads, and after that the mantra jap. Sangat is still in that meditative mode, and then you share your satsangs, share your experiences. So there is no commotion, or everybody is quietly listening and sitting. While we have Aarti in the end, everybody gets up from their place. Then it takes time for them to sit down and settle down. Then the satsang sharing starts. So why waste those few precious minutes which we have with Guruji? And these 2 hours of satsang with Guruji are for Guruji and for him only. And this is the time we should not be socializing. This is not the time to be talking and chatting on the phone. We can leave everything aside and just close our eyes and sit with our Guruji and listen to the messages which are being given during the Shabads by Guruji. We say, okay, we have surrendered to Guruji. Surrender is not so easy unless Guruji wants you to surrender. Surrender is your devotion. You can just let go of your ego and just devote yourself fully to Guruji and leave everything in his hands because he is the one who's taking care of you and he's the one, he's the doer. You can do nothing, not even a leaf moves without it. Just sit down in front of Guruji and do your mantra job, and that is your surrender. Rest, let Guruji take care of it. Just saying thank you, just saying, giving my lot of gratitude to Guruji for giving me this opportunity for narrating my satsang. I would like to do again whatever is left over. I would like to share again with you because some of the blessings are so deep that you cannot express everything in one satsang. Shukrana Guruji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Dhan Guruji Maharaj. It was a divine and blissful Sangat sharing by you, Rupa Sood. On behalf of all the Sangat listening, wish to thank you for your valuable messages and the experiences you shared. These are blessings indeed.
Thank you, Askan. Thank you so much.
Jai Guruji. Now we'll take
Jai.
Agya Guruji Maharaj.
Agya Guruji. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.